What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Season Gaming Bitcast, episode 376. It has been a couple weeks since we've been here. We've been busy, we've been out and about, but we are back and we're ready to talk about an awful lot of good games that have been releasing, which I'm excited to do with my two compatriots here, of course, including
an awful lot of
the
good
Tie
games.
Guy. The Tie Guy is back from GDC, looking fresh, my man. How we doing?
I'm good, my hang boy. I'm chilling.
He used all his words. Get him back.
My
He's going
hang
on.
boy. I've never been called a hang boy before.
Well, now you have. You hang out with
Professional
me,
writer, everyone.
There we go. I'm
Uh,
cool and I have friends, is what I'm learning here. No, it's good. It's good, man. GDC was how shall I recap it? It was extremely exciting. It was very heartwarming to have the whole industry there this year, but also very noticeable how many people were missing because of the rough year the games industry has had. So it was a tale of two cities in this land.
Oakland and
my
San
hang
Francisco.
my hang boys. But yeah, it was good. I had a very good time. Saw some cool games and saw a lot of familiar faces that I don't get to see very often, including lots of people on the IGN team now that we're a little bit more spread out than we used to be when we were all based out of San Francisco. Got to see the people from LA. IGN Tokyo showed up. They gave me some prawn chips.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
As you do.
Yeah, as you do. A little gift from the land of the rising sun. How about you, Hogue? How you been, buddy?
I've been okay. Honestly, I'm really glad we're doing this today and not yesterday. I don't know if you guys ever have the same experience as me, but sometimes you get through a really tough work week and you're ready. You've got some time to do some things for yourself, play games, whatever it might be on Saturday, and your body is just not up for it. Like I could not engage with anything yesterday. And I was a little bit worried waking up this morning about how I would feel, but I am ready to go. I was actually doing a little bit of the head bob and dancing that Travis usually has the monopoly on during the intro video. So I'm ready to go. Let's talk video games. It's exciting.
Nice. Yeah.
Right on.
I like it. And I do know that feeling. I was traveling this week too, got back Friday evening, and yesterday was just like, yeah, I just want to lay on the couch, and I ended up watching a bunch of marathon, which we'll talk about. But yeah, I know that feeling well. So I'm the same way though. We got a lot of games to talk about. It's been busy couple weeks in terms of just game releases, which we seem to say just pretty frequently nowadays. But we've got Pokemon Pokopia, small little game in the world. I think it seems to be doing okay. Slay the Spire 2 has released, at least in early access form, and another game that seems to be doing okay.
Sold some copies.
We've got a preview. Travis can finally talk about Big Walk. We're also talking about Monster Hunter Stories. We're talking Marathon. We're talking TMNT VR, which Travis can talk about from GDC. We can't quite talk about Crimson Desert yet, but we're getting close. And of course, we'll talk a little bit about GDC. And we've also got to talk about Xbox's big announcement at GDC from Jason Ronald and team on Project Helix. So we're going to talk a little bit about that too. But of course, before we get to all of that, got to touch base with the community here. So where's Tide's picks at? Here we go, boys. Is it St. Patrick's? I don't follow holidays at all. Is St. Patrick's Day coming up? Tuesday
is
St. Patrick's Day. Well,
here
we go.
Speaking of Tuesday, did we have an announcement that you wanted to make right now, or are you saving it for later?
We can certainly do it right now if you'd like to.
You said you wanted to do an
announcement.
I'm just trying to make sure that you don't forget it.
No, I got it. Okay. Yeah, I see. Yeah,
no
I went off. I went off a run of show here a little bit, but let's hit the Tuesday picks and then we'll get to Wednesday. So here you go. Here we are.
Oh, look at me! I'm adorable.
Oh boy.
That's what I say every morning in the mirror. By the way,
he does always come out as the most adorable. Tell you what.
I don't like what they did with my face and ears.
I'm like one of those little dolls that like you'd see at grandma's house. The little statues.
I forget what those are called. I know what you mean though.
Oh man, the trolls.
Travis is not one of those dolls.
Yeah,
he's a different doll.
Travis is going to be in a Blumhouse movie for low budget, but he's going to scare the crap out of you.
This feels a little targeted, guys. This keeps happening. You guys ever feel like AI maybe has some biases?
I think maybe she's using the XAI.
Yeah, this is a grok job right here.
Yeah, this is a grok job right here. I look like I always do, I suppose, just bald with a headset. That's me. So
I feel really captured by this image. Thank you.
God, I don't like looking at Hogue when he's 4. I feel like this is accurate.
They even gave him the little button nose and everything, whereas Travis, your nose is a little bulbous. You kind of got the pointy ears. Yeah, they got it all going on there, don't they?
Yeah, the AI seems to think I work at Gringotts Bank in half of these iterations, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Oh man, it's good stuff. Ty, thank you, and yeah, St. Patrick's Day. So if you're listening to this, happy St. Patrick's Day. As I said, I don't pay attention to these holidays at all nowadays. So, but anyway, that's Tuesday. Wednesday, we have been talking about doing a stream of Marathon together for a while now. We did promise that to you. It is happening. We couldn't do it the past couple weeks just due to schedule for all three of us and bouncing all over the place. We're going to do it Wednesday. So as you're listening to this, Wednesday night at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern, the three of us are going to stream Marathon. I'll be streaming it from my Twitch, which I will link and obviously post about, so you can keep an eye for that. We'll put it in the Discord as well, of course. And we'll see how that goes. Travis has been tied up with other games, but he obviously has played it quite a bit anyway. Hogue still
has a higher level than me. Yes, Travis.
Yeah, Hogue's still pretty early.
Wow. How am I higher level than you? I played for like 4 hours total since the game came out.
It's just how I live my life, man.
He plays too many. He's like the buffet gamer. We've talked about this, right?
The man stands a legend.
Let me tell
100 hours, still level 12.
I'm level 13, thank you. But let me tell you, if you aren't knocking out some contracts, it really slows down your advancement.
It does, yeah. It's really based on the contract. So, and I'm the direct opposite of Hogue. I've done nothing outside of travel and work and other things, obviously, but play Marathon. Obviously, from last year to the server slam, played it a bunch. But since its release, 10 days ago or something like that, 9 days ago, I've played it another 60 hours. So
my girls and I have a game where, because you can see what level the players that are connected with you are, even if they're not online, and I have not once overlapped with either of these hang boys online. And I check in on Ains's level, and my girls and I have a joke: is what level is he going to be now? And he goes up like a dozen levels every time I go in and check. But I've never seen him online. It's the craziest thing.
Yeah, I am a late night player, but no, I've been playing it quite a bit, so we'll obviously talk about that. But anyway, Wednesday night or evening for you, we will be streaming Marathon. It should be a lot of fun. We'll have some laughs, so I hope you can swing by. As I always say, too, on my Twitch, any bits, subs, if you don't know, if you're an Amazon Prime member, you get 1 free sub per month on Twitch to any channel. If you throw those on there, I send everything I get on Twitch to Extra Life. So you can throw some stuff over there, too.
Yeah, support my efforts against the UESC robots as everybody else laughs at me.
Hogue's battling the robots. Yeah. We'll have some fun. We'll put Hogue on our back and carry him through. It'll be fun.
I'm not really as awful as I had expected at this game, but I would not classify myself as good.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm looking forward to getting back into it because I only play this game now when Crimson Desert is downloading an update.
You play an online game while getting updates? I never trust my systems with that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I play it on a different device, but yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so let's go ahead and get into it. We got a lot of games to talk about. The show will be mostly games today, as we said. So
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, let's start. I mean, I've got a lot to say about Marathon. We'll hold on that for a second. So let's start. Travis, we talked about Big Walk a couple times. You couldn't speak about it. Preview's finally out. Let's talk about it. What is this game? What's happening with it? What do you do in the game with these funny looking birds? Tell us.
How familiar are you guys with the genre known as friend slop in the games industry?
More familiar.
Only heard about it from my hang boys, honestly.
They started putting in previews for this game.
Actually, the hang boys are the perfect people to play friend slop with, and as it turns out. So friend slop is like walking simulator in that it sort of started as a derogatory term and now is just like a genre of its own, right? And it describes a certain specific type of game. But friend slop is defined as a cheap indie multiplayer game that is developed kind of like with a maybe like you playing with your friends for like 2 or 3 nights to like work through it and then falling off it. It is usually like very recognizable. Like it always has like proximity chat as like one of the features. And so if you saw clips of like Repo or people playing Peak or those
I think
sorts
of
of
Peak.
games, Peak, yeah, those are like what I would call the friend slop genre. And talking to these developers, like they're very aware that they're in that kind of cohort. They're part of the friend slot movement. And what they're doing is creating, whereas most of the other games in the genre have been like horror games primarily, like there are a lot of like cheap, weird horror games. They are closer to Peak in that they are a puzzle game where you walk around with your friends and you solve puzzles on a little island area and you play a weird bird creature. And it is goofy and silly. And that's kind of the whole thing. So when I went to do this preview, they're booking people in groups of 4 and you're playing like with a team that you get to know and you're in the same room, but talking over proximity chat and just kind of goofing around. And the magic in this game is like just it sets itself up for very silly scenarios. That's another kind of signature of the front slop genre is it's very clippable. Like, oh, look at this goofy thing that happened in this game that I'm gonna share on social media. And so yeah, it's sort of a hard to explain game, but you're kind of solving puzzles with your friends and goofing around, and it's a very I would describe it as like a higher end friend slot game than we have seen previously in terms of like polish and the team working on it and all that stuff. But it is a very cool type of game.
Well, I think I
This is
said a
the
couple weeks ago that the Hogue family has been excited about this one since we saw it previewed on, I think, Day of the Devs last June. And like the pitch for my family, what they were really excited about is that it's all like communications based puzzles. At least it looked like in the preview. So you've got to talk through what buttons to press in this room, but there's a plexiglass window and you have to figure out how to get the information in various ways through different honks or different pictures that you can draw and things like that. And my girls just loved that conceptually from the
Yeah.
start.
Yeah, it's a very good. It is about limits in communication where because it's proximity chat only, you can only hear the voice for a certain distance. So you like half of the controls are dedicated to you like moving your arms in specific directions. You can put them up to the side, front, and you can also do like any combination of the two. So you can start to come up with like, symbols. You can also write things down on a sign and then hold it up. And stuff like that. And there's binoculars, and they kind of come up with some very like clever ways that you have to work as a group and get over the communication hurdles to figure out what each other are saying. We only got to play like effectively the tutorial. It was like the first hour. And so the puzzles were very simple. It was just like you figuring out the mechanics of the game, like the fact that you can pick up anything, no matter how heavy it is. Like you can pick up like your friend can pick up your friend and then you can pick up that friend and then another friend can pick you up and then you're just like a spire of 4 dudes all just like holding each other in the air and you use that to solve puzzles. And then the other thing that's kind of interesting is the puzzles change based on how many players you have. So like in one you have to like press all these buttons at the same time and the number of buttons changes depending on how many players you have. And then similarly there's one where like you have to stack up on top of each other and then jump to hit a button, and the height of the button is based on the number of players you have. So it's cool that it like adjusts the world to fit whatever group you have. But the pitch we got is this is a game that you'll play for like 3 or 4 nights with your friends and then get through the 8 to 10 hour campaign, and then you'll say that was fun and log off. So they're basically just making like a one-off experience that you can enjoy with your hang boys and then you have a good time and you log off and hopefully take some memories with you. So it is very similar to Peak in that way.
I'm looking forward to it, and the previews were pretty glowing.
Is this the Goose Game devs? Am I okay? Cool.
House Games. Yep.
Cool. All right. What's the release date on it? Do we have one?
I don't think we do. No.
Wasn't in the previews. At least.
They're
They might have said in the room.
They're actually letting people sign up to go do the experience that I did, which I don't want to spoil it, but it had some really unique production values that they put into it. But like, if you have a group of 4 people, you can sign up for a slot to visit their office and go play the experience that I got to play. And I think you can just do that now. So if you're in the Portland area or planning on being in that area, you can try to sign up to go visit their office and play this little demo. And it was very cool. And also, I just happened to play with some of the guys that I started in the games industry with that I haven't talked to in years. We used to write for like an indie outlet, like very, very much like Seasoned Gaming. And I just walked through the door and was like, hey, it's a guy I used to cover E3 with in 2014, just like a guy I've known for over a decade. And it was cool that was obviously wasn't intentional. They didn't know that. I just got assigned it, and so did some other people.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool that we just happened to hang out with some people that I knew, which was really cool.
Awesome. Yeah, it's cool. That's cool. Well, cool. We'll learn more about Big Walk soon. Then,
Big Walk.
Before we move on, move on to the other games, you cannot talk about it, but you've been playing some Crimson Desert, and obviously, you'll be covering that game here soon when embargo lifts. But how much time you got in that game?
Yes, I've been playing Crimson Desert for 85 hours since the last time we spoke. It is a massive open world RPG, and the embargo lifts on Wednesday. My plan was to be fully done with the review by Wednesday. It's not looking good. It's not looking
I
like
believe
I'm
in you,
going
Travis.
to. It's not looking like I'm going to be done with that game by Wednesday. But if I don't finish it by Wednesday, I will have a review in progress up, likely with an interview attached to it, so that you can hear more of my thoughts in video version. And then I will get that live at embargo, and then follow up with the full review once I finish the game. The developers actually advised us to not finish this game. They said you should play 60 to 70 hours to get, quote, a good feel for most of the stuff and then write your review. But IGN is very strict on this. We finished the game, and I'm working my way through it. So Marathon is effectively on pause until I finish this, but I'm hoping to be done with it sometime this week, and I am making good progress. It's a big boy, and I don't want to rush too quickly. I don't want to rush too quickly to get through the story, just because a lot of the game is sort of like not doing the story. It's kind of like if you just played the campaign in Skyrim and then thought that was the entire game, without doing any faction stuff. Like you kind of have to do other stuff to fully experience it. So I'm doing that, and I have a lot of opinions on this game, so get ready.
Get excited for another Travis joint dropping on Wednesday.
Yeah.
He hasn't written it yet, but he's sure it's going to be great.
Yeah, I have not written a word of it, but when I do, you watch out.
All right, cool. So we wanted to mention that just because there's a lot of talk about that game.
There's a lot of interest.
Yeah, people really are. But I think a lot of people that I've talked to at least know just from everything about the game, like this is going to obviously be a monster game and really have no clue how it's going to turn out. So be an interesting week, and we'll talk about it more next week, obviously.
I think that's where some of the interest comes from, right? It's like you saw those preview videos come in January and February, and you're like, well, that looks amazing. It's a little unclear what I'll be doing the whole time, but you just keep adding videos. They're like, we got jetpacks. You can hit people with trees. It's like, what is this? Okay. So everybody's excited and interested because nobody knows what Travis knows right now.
Yeah. All right. So stay tuned next week. We'll talk a lot more about Crimson Desert. For now, we got to move over to this little franchise called Pokemon. You might have heard of it. There's a new game that came out called Pokopia. Very well regarded. Obviously has sold like gangbusters, which is no surprise to anyone, I think. And I have not been playing this game, not even 1 second. So I'm going to hand it off to my Hangboy Hogue.
Thank you.
Hangboy Hogue, that goes well.
I think the marathon stream has to have a reference to Hang Boys.
I got it. I'm on it.
right.
Meanwhile,
Hang Boys play marathon. That's the absolute. Yeah.
Talk to us about Pokopia, Hogue.
Yes, well, the easiest way to explain Pokopia, if you haven't checked it out at all, is that it is the Dragon Builders franchise, in particular Dragon Builders 2. Instead of Dragon Quest, you're in Pokemon Land. But with that said, that actually changes a lot of the aspects of the game. So you're still in a kind of Minecraft world, a blocky world where you can move things around and build them with those blocks. But now you've got Pokemon that are kind of reimagined in the Pal World vein, which is to say that you put them to work, right? You get Charmander to cook for you, to light up your ovens. You do various things with Pokemon to get them working. It also has a little bit of Viva Pinata in it, and that the way you get Pokemon is to make environments that they're going to be attracted to, and then you kind of wait for them to show up. But this game is just absolutely massive. My youngest daughter can't stop playing it. I absolutely love it when this happens, where they just engage with something this much, where I go and I hit my Pro Controller to turn on my Switch in my room, and I'm like, why isn't it working? And you look a little bit closer, and the Switch is gone because she dashed in at some point and stole it and is playing Pokopia in some corner of the house. And so this has been a big winner at Hogue House. It is a fantastic game. The only thing missing from it for me is that the Dragon Quest Builders franchise has a little bit of Dragon Quest fighting out in the world. That's not in this game because it has a bunch of other stuff. But it is absolutely tremendous. If you have any interest at all in a Minecraft, Animal Crossing, Viva Pinata, Pokemon game, I can't imagine it possibly being done better than this.
Wow. It's high praise. Seems very well regarded across everyone I've known that's been playing it. And anyone I do know who's been playing it has said they've been pretty addicted to it. So
it
seems like they nailed it.
It does appear to be of a drug-like substance for a certain cohort of cozy crafting Pokemon fans.
Cool.
My wife
Do you
seems
play
to
this
think
at all?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
She seems to think it's the best cozy game ever made, perhaps. So she's
I think you can make
quite
the case.
into it. Yeah,
okay.
She's quite into it. She actually told me that she's scared of this game. So I don't know what that means. I did not ask follow-up questions. But yeah, I played it just a tiny bit because I bought it and was like, I just want to see, I just want a little taste. And I was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, but I don't know anything about it. Apparently, Dee's worried that this game may have killed Animal Crossing, which again, I've not played enough to know about that. But she said, she was like, I don't know how they do Animal Crossing after this game. And I was like, okay.
What's fascinating to me about it is that it really does hew very closely to Dragon Quest Builders 2, which is a fantastic game. But a lot of what people are reacting to, you want to be like, that does exist already. I know Pokemon is a better connection point for a lot of people, but this game type does exist already. And Dragon Quest Builders 2 is one that people shouldn't miss.
Nothing exists until it's Pokemon. That's what I've learned.
Some truth there.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the IP is just so big. So good to hear it. I'm glad people are enjoying the heck out of it. And Travis picked that up in our fantasy league. I don't know why I didn't. Because it, I don't know, it wasn't first party. I was like, I don't know if this is going to be a hit, and now we all look stupid. So good job, Travis.
First place. What up? Let's go.
Yeah, I have
that
little doubt.
Ebb snab was nice.
Yes, it was. Good call on that one too. I actually, after we talked about it a couple weeks ago, I actually saw that popping up everywhere. It's funny how that happens. But another huge release this week, which has been waited on for quite a while now, is the early access release of Slay the Spire 2. Released on Steam, blew up immediately. I mean, like, just all hell broke loose in terms of sales for this game out of the gate. I've seen other people talking about it. Hogue, dampen the mood, my friend.
I'm going to be less effusive about this one, but I also am going to be a little bit less judgmental, which is to say Slay the Spire 2 was a game I was excited about because Slay the Spire is the progenitor of one of my favorite indie genres that goes around Steam and various places, of the roguelike deck builder experience. If you've played Monster Train, if you've played a handful of other games with deck building and those screens where you pick branching paths to get to the end of a roguelike experience, you owe a lot of your experience to Slay the Spire 1. And I have respected Slay the Spire 1 since it came out for that and for bringing this genre to me. But I haven't been able to engage with that particular game as much as I have with games like Monster Train. Slay the Spire, in and of itself, is a bit too, let's say, streamlined. I was going to say simple. I don't want it to be negative. It's a little bit too focused for me and doesn't really reach the level and depth of design space that I like, that you see in games like Monster Train, which is greatly helped by the fact that you're running 3 boards at once. But I was very hopeful for the sequel because I said, okay, how are these guys going to take this genre that they invented and reimagine it and make it worthy of a number 2 next to its name? And the unfortunate truth is, as far as I've gotten so far, which is not nearly as far as everybody else that's addicted to Slay the Spire, don't get me wrong, is that it doesn't feel like a sequel at all out of the gate. It feels like they remade the game now with flash graphics and a little bit fancier animation. And thank you very much for the $25 for the $10 DLC. That's what it feels like immediately. The same characters, the same decks, playing the same way that you remember with, yes, new monsters, new bosses, some new events, but really feels almost entirely like the same game. And I'm very hopeful that, like Monster Train 2, there are things that are going to happen as you progress through this game that are going to be like, wow, okay, I see why it deserved a number 2. But my instant reaction was, okay, I overspent on this. This is not what I wanted out of this product. And that's my experience so far.
All right. Sorry, I was talking. We have a Mrs. Hogue alert. I was just saying hello.
Hi, honey.
So, Tao asked, because Tao is very big on this game. He asked if you've played multiplayer yet.
No, I think I said earlier that I was not interested in that as an aspect of this game, which is undoubtedly causing some of the commentary you just heard from me, which is to say they appear to have put most of their resources into how can these decks work with multiple people. I honestly don't care. It's not why I played Slay the Spire 1 to begin with. It's not why I play the other games in this genre that I play. So if it's working for people, that's not something that I will separately experience. So it's a fair question. That's one of the reasons why it is so kind of disheartening to me right now.
I got you. And it's still, I don't play it, so I'm not aware, but I believe it's still in early access, right? So they'll probably be making further additions and adjustments to it.
Yeah, and they didn't hit the year mark on Slay the Spire 1 when they did this, so they actually say in their notes on Steam that they are anticipating at least a year and a half in early access.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, good. I hope they tune it up. It seems like obviously it's done well out of the gate, and if they continue to refine and tune it, then cool.
Yeah, no, if you want more Slay the Spire, it's there.
Fair enough. All right, Slay the Spire 2. What else? So let's talk real briefly then about Monster Hunter Stories 3, another new release this week. Alex is reviewing this for us at SG. Got the code late though, so our review coming in late. But Hogue, you said you've touched on this one, I believe.
I have, yes. I think this only came out 2 days ago or so.
Yes.
But so far, it is a stunner. It is a stunner graphically. It's a stunner in how much they have moved the systems of the Stories franchise closer to Monster Hunter proper in JRPG form. For folks that don't know this series, Monster Hunter Stories is their turn-based JRPG offshoot series. And this is, of course, being Monster Hunter Stories 3, the third one. I guess I shouldn't say of course. JRPGs aren't really known for necessarily being right on the number. But this is the third one.
Kingdom Hearts, anyone?
And Monster Hunter Stories 1 kind of starts out with little kids and their monsties. Monster Hunter Stories 2 is a little bit more like teenagers. This one is more like adults. We're going to do a real full-fledged JRPG, and we're going to add even more of the systems that make Monster Hunter what Monster Hunter is. And it's almost a open world, Monolith Soft, Xenoblade kind of game with monsters and a lot of turn-based battling. I have been super impressed by what this game is. I have to be honest, I'm still kind of learning the systems. They're all layered on top of each other. But it's gorgeous. It plays really well. It's got a lot of cool ideas. And it's telling more of a interesting story than the previous 2 entries have. So I think this is going to be an absolute banger. Is going to be lit, is going to be the bomb, whatever your preferred vernacular is.
Wow.
But I think this is really, really, really good. And if you're at all excited about anything I've said, you should jump in on this one.
We're certainly showing our seasonedness. Alex says, excellent, by the way, probably the best looking cell shaded game ever.
I mean, it takes the kind of Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom approach to graphics, and I think it does look really, really good.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, Silkenit says loving it. Awesome. Yeah, I know the reviews are pretty solid as well from a critical perspective. So, but you mentioned Xenoblade, so should I assume this is never getting finished?
You might. I mean, one of the things that happens with this that I wasn't expecting is that it's immediately overwhelming. Like all the systems and all of the open worldness of it was not what I was expecting. The story's franchise has been a little bit more linear and contained. And I don't think I realized that they were trying to build this into a Monster Hunter experience, just turn-based in JRPG. Like Stories was much more different than the mainline games than this one feels. And so it is a little overwhelming. The next shiny thing will undoubtedly distract me, probably Crimson Desert this week, right? But I am really, really enjoying Monster Hunter Stories 3.
Okay, awesome. All right. Let's see. Travis, you mentioned that you played a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles VR game at GDC that you can talk about. What is this? What is it on?
Yeah.
What are we expecting? Talk to us.
Yeah, so I actually already did a preview of this game a couple months ago. I think it was earlier this year. That you can see right now, but it was for just the tutorial area, and it was sort of like a proof of concept. Like, hey, Ninja Turtles do a lot of hand-to-hand combat, and they also climb stuff a lot. Like, that seems like all things that you do in a VR game. Wouldn't that be cool if they put that in a VR game? This was a demo where I was in the semi-open world kind of area of Empire City and was also playing multiplayer. Which was that's sort of like the main thing that I think sets this apart, aside from having a cool IP, is you can do this with 3 of your turtle bros. And who doesn't want to be a turtle bro running around a city? So yeah, the demo I played was with the creative director of the studio, and hilariously, your avatar is a turtle, and when you talk, when it detects sound coming out of your mic, your turtle flaps his turtle mouth. Very much reminds me of the live action Ninja Turtle movies in terms of like, you're like, is that a costume? What are you? Yeah, it's really good. It's just funny to watch, like a bunch of turtles like walking around with like swords going like at each other. It's just like it's so hard to get over how funny that is. But yeah, it was the demo was basically us doing kind of like the Spider-Man video game stuff where you're out in the city where you're like solving random like side quests. Like there'd be one where it's like, oh, somebody's purse got stolen, let's go beat up some Foot Clan ninjas. And then another place where we were like doing kind of a Tony Hawk thing where you have to collect all the letters of a word before the timer runs out.
Was the word pizza?
I don't think the word was pizza, actually. I don't remember what the word was. But yeah, we were like in a time trial of like, you have to collect all these letters and they require you to like jump and dash in the air and like basically perform feats of parkour to complete and stuff like that. And then we also did a boss fight against I'm gonna forget his name a million times. Bebop
and Rocksteady.
Bebop
yep,
and
that one.
Yeah,
I think it was just Rocksteady, the Rhino, right? So it was just the Rhino. And that was, so this guy had told, this is just an aside, it has nothing to do with anything, but I think it's funny. They had, when I showed up to the demo, they were like, hey, just so you know, like we have invincibility mode turned on. And I was like, no,
turn that off.
And I was like, turn that off. And they were like, what? I was like, have you been doing these demos all day with invincibility mode turned on? They were like, yeah, it's kind of a hard game. Lots of people aren't familiar with VR controls. And I was just like, dude, can you imagine the comments I would get in the iTunes comment section if they saw me get hit and take no damage, dude? Like, I'm not going to. I had this happen once for it was Remnant 2. The developer provided footage to me, and in one of the clips, the developer, not me, forgot to turn off God mode and then got hit with a bullet, and somebody in the comments noticed it, and it was all, oh, look, journalism mode activated. It was everybody being a dick, and it wasn't even me. So I don't know why developers keep doing this. I feel like it makes for bad footage. It also like it just like for the idiots who don't know how this works, like it makes the person that's talking about the game seem like they don't know how to play a video game. So anyway, I am the only person who recorded footage of that demo with it turned off because I made them turn it off. Like we had to go to debug mode and I had to like turn off that. I was like, I'm not playing this game. And I guess the reason they turned on invincibility mode is specifically because of that boss fight. Boss fight was pretty tough. I'm not gonna lie. We both almost died at various points in that fight, but we did make it through. But yeah, it's a cool Ninja Turtles game where you jump around with your bros and you eat pizza to heal, and
Nice.
Cool. Really, my only complaint is that I asked them if they have skateboarding in it, and they said no, and I was like, "What? I don't get to skateboard? This is bullshit." So that's really my only complaint. But other than that, it was a lot of fun. And this is just one I'm keeping my eyes on. As you guys know, I try to get more coverage for the VR games that are out there, and it's very hard at IGN because this is still a niche. The traffic isn't amazing whenever we cover VR, and so when I find one that I think could break through because as a popular IP or it's doing something unique, I try to cover it. And doing kind of the classic hack and slash climbing stuff game, but with a 4-player co-op kind of twist is interesting enough to where I think this one could break through. And the 2 times I played it, I had a ton of fun. Like it's a lot of fun just hanging out with your boys and being a turtle.
Turtles are awesome. I don't think you mentioned the full name here.
Oh, it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Empire City. And I think they rebrand the Foot Clan as like a tech startup or like a tech giant. Like the Foot Clan has like a skyscraper that looks a lot like Salesforce Tower in the background. And I was like, that's kind of a funny take on the Foot Clan. They kind of went full tech company. It's kind of interesting.
Is there a release date?
I don't think it has a release. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I remember this conversation very clearly. So I know the release date, but it is not announced, is what I should tell you. It was on the DL. They told me this, but I think you can very safely say that we will be playing it this year. And I know that it's coming to the Meta Quest devices, and I assume it's coming just to everything else. There's no exclusivity deal. It's just being made on as many devices as they can ship it to. So hopefully that includes PlayStation VR. I'm sure it will include Steam. But this would be one that will be really, I can almost guarantee that there will be like clips of this because turtling with your homies is fun. Also, if you get knocked out and your bros have to revive you, you turn into a shell, like you go into your shell mode because you're a hurt little turtle, and then your friends have to go over to your shell and like, you're all right, dude, you're all right, let's get you back up. Which I don't know, I thought it was funny to like turn into a shell when he got defeated, which is cool.
Okay, that's
cool. I love the turtles. Cool. Let's do it. Dibs on Donatello.
Oh, I was Donnie. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the other thing is all of the turtles have abilities. So Donnie can hack things, and they all have like their own kind of like special ability between them. So
I will also accept Leonardo if Donatello is otherwise filled.
You're gonna be Leonardo because Donnie's my boy.
I always like Leo just because of blue, but yeah,
I could see you.
Ain't you feel like a Raph to me?
I'm a Raph. All right,
you feel like a Raphael.
I can see that. I should be Mikey, right?
Probably.
You should be Mikey.
Yeah, I should be Mikey. Yeah. All right, fine. I'll give up Donnie for Mikey.
Fair enough. Awesome. Thanks for that, because I didn't know anything about that, so that's cool. All right, let's talk a little marathon, boys. And
I was gonna say you were holding off as long as you could there.
No, you're gonna have to give me some space here. I've played the hell out of this game. I put a opinion article, not a review in progress. Our review in progress is being done by Rob, who's in our chat right now. And so him and I were talking about that yesterday. It'll probably go up tomorrow. As I think we discussed, full scored reviews on Marathon are waiting for the next level of the game to release. So if you didn't know, Bungie had this very coordinated kind of timeline post-launch of things kind of releasing. So they released the game 10 days ago, like we said, as we were recording. Yesterday, if you didn't know, they had this big event on Twitch called the Tal Ceti Cup. So Shroud, Peanut, a bunch of the big streamers.
I was not invited.
No.
Weird.
Yeah, strange. But that was a bunch of teams competing against each other for points, where they basically got to go in like hour-long segments or 45-minute segments where they did a bunch of things for different points. I believe, spoiler alert, Shroud's team won. I don't think that's probably a spoiler. I mean, Shroud's team was insane. They were just basically ripping everyone apart. But it was very, very cool to watch because you saw really competent players playing this game, and it kind of showed a lot of the depth. So that was a big event yesterday. And then this week, I suspect, I don't know for sure, there's no date on it, but I suspect the end game will begin, and the fourth map called Cryo Archive, along with ranked mode, will unlock as well. And once players kind of get a feel for that, that's when you'll start to see scored reviews here in the next week or two, probably.
If I know Bungie, it'll be on Friday of this week.
Okay.
It seems to be their move for Endgame is they do it like Friday morning at like 10 a.m. Pacific. So my guess would be it's going to be Friday morning, and then the weekend will be kind of like people doing Endgame stuff.
I mean, surely it has to relate to all the community panels, right? So they got to turn those on, and then they got to solve it.
They've done that. So
they haven't done it in all the maps yet.
Yeah, they finished on Perimeter, then they finished on Dire Marsh. They unlocked Outposts, and now they're working through that one. Yeah. So it's been cool.
Can you tell me about what these maps are? Because I've been completely off the social aspect. I know that there's like an ARG puzzle that's trying to be solved, but I don't know anything.
So
yes,
you know, the short version is that they've got you might have seen the textured marathon panels from like the original marathon games across the maps. And
little green panels with the logo. Yeah.
Yes, and then you get an email in your marathon inbox every once in a while that says something completely obtuse about the marathon trying to connect to one of the maps, Perimeter, Dire Marsh, Outpost. And when it's connected and they're on, people were able to find that there's number codes and maps to go somewhere else where they're hearing sound clips and they're being led to websites and things like that, and slowly turning on cameras in Cryo Archive. That is the really short version.
That is the most Bungie shit I've ever heard.
It's a very community I love bees type of thing.
I saw that.
This game is so I love bees.
Yes.
Yeah. I literally saw that on launch day, and I was like, look, I'm not going to engage with this because I basically never do, but that is exactly what they do. That's such a Bungie thing.
You can't engage with it. The biggest problem I have with the ARG stuff, which I love during I Love Bees and I love as a concept, is that with the internet as it is, like, you're never able to be on the front end of any of these things because the hive mind just goes and attacks the crap out of it. And you're like, oh, that's what that was. And it's over. Like, oh, we got all the cameras open already. And like, I thought I was updating y'all on where Dire Marsh and Outpost were at, but Ains telling me that they already solved Dire Marsh. It's like, I believe it. It's just that's not where it was when I left them.
Yeah. They unlocked them on Outpost, I think, on maybe Thursday or Friday.
Fair enough. This is a problem with working.
Yeah. So let me talk about this game, because I think there's a lot of misconceptions about this game. And as I've
dedicated in their soul to hating it.
Well, there's that too, which is just strange from the start. So, but as I've played this game more, and I've put dozens and dozens of hours into it now, and I feel like every time I play it, I'm still learning something new about the game, how it functions, certain ways to do things. First off, this game is way, way deeper than you would kind of get from the outset. Far, far deeper. I've got 60 hours in since launch. As I said, I played the Server Slam a bunch. I played last year with Travis and Rob and others, and it feels like I'm only starting to scratch the surface. Part of the reason of that, and I'll say this as clearly as I can, this is Bungie returning to their competitive roots. And me, being who I am, I could not be happier. This is a competitive game, first and foremost. I write in my article, you can play this trying not to be competitive. You can play this sneaking around. You can play this with proximity chat and beg for people not to shoot you. They won't listen. You can do all those things. This is Bungie flexing their competitive first-person shooter skills. And in that vein, it is an amazing game. The mechanics, the movement, the shooting, the hit registration, all of those things you expect from Bungie are there. and it just feels sublime to play. And I love that about this game. But what really sets this game apart, I think, in various ways to others in the genre stuff, is you take that competitive shooter base and team on team play, and you make it in this broader environment with all these ancillary things going on. And so third partying, like you would expect in battle royales, is present. Interacting with aggressive AI gets thrown into this cocktail of mix while you're maybe getting third partied or you're third partying.
Yes,
And
that's
then
fun, isn't it?
and then in parallel to all of that is a far deeper looting game and class building, character building game, more akin to something like Borderlands.
Yeah, holy crap.
Yeah, then
You
you
get into
would
the higher
expect.
level cores, and they can change your entire framework. The game is crazy.
The build depth is pretty insane, especially once you get to kind of the purple and some of the prestige stuff I've seen.
Have you gotten the
And
legendaries yet? Have you gotten any cool ones?
I do have a few. They're pretty
I
rare.
had one yellow. It did not come out with me.
I was gonna say you're still pretty early. Like
there's one yellow.
Yeah, there's still so much to see, Hogue. Even for me, I'm a level, I don't know what I am now, 45, 46, something like that. Like watching Shroud yesterday, he's like an 87 or something, which is nuts. But yeah, there's some crazy stuff out there from a build perspective. And so you mix all these things together, and what I'm finding more and more is like I'm queuing up in this game to play this competitive multiplayer like I would a competitive shooter. But when you're going into it, you're doing so with the mindset of I'm playing a competitive shooter while I'm also doing all of these other things. And because of that, there's so much variety and so much kind of depth, not just to the gameplay, but to the game itself. That it's a very like, let's run another one, let's run another one, let's run another one. And for the people I see playing this game consistently, anecdotally, of course, but for the people I see playing consistently, it's very much that it is taken over. It's like I can just play this game. Even some of the old Halo pros that were playing Pro Halo just last year before HCS moved on, like Lucid, have posted like, I haven't played a game as addicting where I just want to keep playing it as marathon in some time. And obviously these higher skill tier players like the Shrouds, like the Lucids, like the others, are really loving this game because, as I said, it really plays to those strengths for those types of players. But, and Hogue, you can speak to this more than I can, the other thing that has impressed me about this game is how much depth from a lore and kind of storytelling perspective in a multiplayer game that I'm really, really enjoying too. I was not a original marathon guy. I don't know much about it. I actually watched a story recap. And Hogue, I know you were.
What the heck does a recap of marathon look like? Because it's an insane story.
It is an insane story.
It was like a 25-minute long video, and I don't think the guy took a breath. And I was like, what is going on?
Marathon is the height of a certain era of storytelling in games. Like hard sci-fi short stories at terminals where you're like, am I losing my mind or are they, throughout the entirety of the game? And I almost want to cry a little bit about how much they capture of what I colloquially call marathon weirdness in this game. And it is so good at it. I just love it to death. And people keep asking me about how could you like this game as much as you do, Rick, when you're such a single player campaign focused guy. And I got to tell you, getting the messages from the various agents, seeing the various things in the environmental storytelling and otherwise, I can't imagine more story that I would want out of a single player campaign with this framework than I'm getting in this extraction shooter. And I agree with you, Ains, from a gameplay perspective and a design perspective and all the fun you can have, that it feels different to go in and your runs can be fairly short or efficient. So you're constantly hitting one more turn on these things. The only thing that breaks me of this, and I got to believe this is not a shared experience with people that are more skilled than me, is that if I have 4 or 5 runs where I feel like nothing was accomplished, I tend to be like, all right, let's do something else. And that happens to me more than I'm comfortable admitting. But otherwise, as long as you're doing a little something, and most of the contracts let you do a little something while you're playing, it's new every time. You're getting environmental storytelling. You're getting weird sci-fi lore. It matches up with the stories that I loved back in the 90s, and it plays as good as anything that Bungie has made. So I have a tweet out there that I've gotten yelled at from people that are invested in hating Marathon, where I said, I really think this is honest to God what I think, that Destiny is going to look like a halfway house where Bungie was finding itself between peaks of shooter in Halo and Marathon at this point. And that's not to say Destiny is bad. I've had a lot of fun in Destiny, but it was clearly them sorting through how they want to do new ways of storytelling and new ways of engaging with multiplayer content. And this Marathon is so much more focused. It is so much clearer in design and what they want to achieve than Destiny was for the longest time, and I would argue is now after the final shape. So Marathon, if you love Bungie at all, is where you need to be playing. You're not going to regret it. It is fantastic. It is going to be one of my favorite games of the year, and I can't believe I'm telling you that about what is a sweaty competitive shooter that I'm bad at. There's just so much to love here.
Yeah, it's I agree with everything you just said. I've been very impressed. I write in my article that I really like the kind of emergent storytelling that develops here, right? You get these very cool cinematics for each of the factions as you do their actual story-based missions, and you can kind of see the world taking shape and how they're playing against each other. But then obviously there's this huge, and I mean huge, codex that you unlock as you play on the different levels and you different quests, and there, as much as you want to dive into, it's all there for you. And I love that. But I also love, to your point about Destiny and Halo and obviously Bungie's history and everything that goes there. Obviously, I'm biased towards Halo. Everyone who watches this show knows that. I enjoy Destiny for what it is. Travis is much more the Destiny guy than I am. But I'm a competitive guy first and foremost. And this is definitely Bungie coming back around. Travis, keep me honest here. But there was a time where competitive was a pretty big focus for Destiny, and it did quite well. And they kind of moved away from that, if I recall correctly. And there were kind of, that community was, what happened to Crucible? Why aren't we focused on this? They just kind of left it. And I feel, at least, and again, this is my just personal opinion, of course, in my opinion, that this is Bungie kind of circling back and saying, this is how you do competitive shooting. And when Bungie focuses on that, no matter their staffing changes and all the turbulence they've gone through, what I write is they always find a way to make this shit just feel amazing. And it feels amazing.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yep, I think that's fair. It's also the shape of their team. Like I first of all, I just want to start off by saying
The final shape.
How crazy is it that we're talking about Marathon, a game that I have been hyping up and telling you guys I'm excited about for like
last year. We thought this game was dead. Remember this? Like this game was on its well, you didn't, but it was, to be fair, you didn't. But like the community, the industry painted this game as dead.
Yeah, because Arc Raiders was coming out, and I remember I went to the studio and I came back like very optimistic about this game, and no one believed me. So I just find it very interesting that we're here on the show, and I'm just like sitting here silently while you guys talk about how this is one of the best games you played this year. This is great. I'm so happy right now.
See, this I walked into this knowing that this was coming, and I still did because it's worth it. Even though I got people online yelling at me for being paid by Bungie. It's like, no, I have no money from Bungie or Sony or anybody else.
I do want to say, because I've been watching the comments while you guys have been talking, and I know that like some people are talking about, will it be successful? I can't tell you if a game will be successful. None of us know
talk about
if this
that all
game's
the time.
going to be successful, but like I can tell you that it's good, and I can tell you that if you are the type of person that's into any of the things that Marathon is, weird sci-fi that's slightly unsettling, weird sci-fi, extraction shooter, or competitive PvP game, it is a masterclass in all three of those things. And that if you like any part of that, you're probably going to enjoy this game. And we have three very different types of gamers here. We have Ains, who really is coming just for the sweaty PvP. We have me, who's coming pretty much just for the loot and extraction shooter loop. Obviously, I also really like the weird sci-fi and PvP thing. But if I had to put myself into one of those three, I would put myself mostly in the loot game guy. And then finally, Hogue, who's here for primarily the weird sci-fi stuff. And we're all really enjoying it. Yeah,
you know, it's the truth, and we haven't really talked about it as much, but like it's three different games as you play this, because solo is so different from triads.
Solo
and
could be a horror game, man.
It is. I love solo though.
Awesome.
I love solo
It's
sneaking
so
around,
fun.
being like, I don't want to fight with anybody. Oh my god, was that
Yep.
something in the corner? No, get away. But solo is great, and one of the things they've done with this design that I'd really love to analyze more from like a more intellectual level is like it never hurts so bad to lose your stuff. It never hurts so bad to get killed and to have to pop back in like I feel in Arc Raiders. Like it feels worse. I don't know why. I'd have to really think about it. But they've managed to do something with their loot and with the way they've got the whole meta progression set up, where the reason I'm clicking one more turn all the time is that I'm like, oh, that sucked, but I had fun and I saw some cool stuff and I want to do it again immediately. So you get all these different games. Rooks are freaking crazy now because everybody's upgraded their rooks.
Yeah.
So like you have all these different games to play within this one space. You have freaking codex entries that are as long as Mass Effect telling you the craziest crap. And you have I Love Bees radio dramas in the main contracts that you're earning as you go through this game. I could not possibly be happier with Marathon. And I am thrilled to death to say so because I want to like everything. And I bought this a couple of weeks ago on pre-order. I told you that. Basically because I saw a Vidoc where I'm like, well, that looks pretty interesting. I'll give it a try. I like Bungie gunplay. We'll give it a shot. Maybe they didn't ruin my beloved Marathon. They did not ruin it. They made it better. I'm super excited about all of this. I'm so excited that I'm willing to just walk directly into the line of fire of Travis saying, I've told you so for maybe the rest of my life.
To be fair to Travis,
He did tell us so.
He said last year that Bungie usually finds a way to pull shit out of their ass when their back's against the wall. He did. And I promise you, I have 60 hours in this game in 10 days, and I was traveling for work last week. They did. They absolutely did. And keep in mind, as we talk about this, the whole game's not even released yet. Like, we still haven't gotten the end game or ranked or cryo or some of these other things. Most people playing this game haven't even seen most of it or a good chunk of it yet, myself included.
The entire first week that I played, entire first week that I played, I was just trying to memorize Perimeter. And Perimeter is the small, easy map. And if you actually go into this game and then you reflect on me saying it's the small, easy map, you'd be like, this is crazy because Perimeter is enormous. But it's not Dire Marsh where you just have teams hitting each other from all spaces at once. And it's not Outpost where...
Me too.
It's not Outpost where your sky is lighting on fire and then people are jumping out of every corner to kill you. So
also
it's just
Perimeter's
tremendous.
Scary. I only played Perimeter twice, and both times I was like, this is a scary map. You have to hide all the time. It's pretty crazy.
I find Dire Marsh to be the scariest map. Like, they're just open lines of sight everywhere.
Yep. Yeah. So about that, right? One of the things I comment on in my article is about the artistic direction, which was a big thing from the first time this game was shown. And I was iffy on it initially, and I've really come to love it. And I say there's two reasons for that. One is it's extraordinarily unique, right? It doesn't look like other games you're playing, and it takes everything about it. It leans into it in that vein, and it becomes very stylish. And I just love kind of some of the artistic colors and other things, and just the way things just explode on the screen.
So colorful, and the shields pop with like neon fireworks, and it's
just very cool. It's very sci-fi, right? The other thing that it does, which I think, again, this is just a competitive space, is that there's a lot less visual noise from something like a realistic shooter. So when you're in these, to Hoag's point, long sight lines, something like Dire Marsh, right? It allows a couple things. It allows you to have those long range engagements, but it also allows certain elements of the environment to play a bigger role. So this has weather systems. It has dynamic kind of things that happen. So for instance, you can play on Dire Marsh one match where you're walking across the map and you can see straight down, and I'll hit you with a sniper before you even know what happened. There's There's other times where it's raining or it's sunny and foggy and other elements where you can trudge through that marsh and you won't know until someone's, a few feet in front of you. And I think that kind of dynamism in the gunplay or the gameplay, is really interesting. And it allows you from a visual standpoint to separate out the UESC enemies and other runners, and kind of it gives you those different ways to engage much more than, say, some realistic shooters out there where everything kind of just blends together. And I really like that about it.
No, it's a great
so
point.
it's beautiful. The other thing I'll mention, because this is the thing I know we've all heard and all talk about a lot with extraction shooters, is, and I've heard this from even some of my stepson, who's a hardcore Destiny player, right? He's one of those guys like you, Travis, with thousands and thousands of hours. He doesn't want to play Marathon, doesn't like extraction shooters. I don't like worrying about losing my stuff. You have to, I promise you, get over the gear fear. Marathon does a really, really good job of the way it's designed as you level up and you do these faction quests, of one, just providing you heaps and heaps of gear, but also once you level up the factions, each of them gives you free stuff every day. So I'm at the point now where like I have more free guns and cores and other stuff every day than I can barely even use, honestly. And so you just have to go in, be competitive or hide, whatever your play style that you prefer to play, but just let it go, man. If you die, trust me, it's okay. You're gonna get that stuff again. Hell, half the time I'll go in with a free kit, and within 5 to 10 minutes, I already have a full loadout again.
You
It's
can re-up pretty quick.
yeah, it really just let it go. It's okay. It's part of the fun, right? It's part of the fun of finding something new, playing around with it a little bit, losing it, and be like, all right, I'll find something cool again, because there's so much cool shit in the game. And what I really like about it, and I love Dark Raiders to death, and I don't want to directly compare those games because they're very, very different games. They really are.
They really are.
But the one thing I will say about Arc Raiders, which for me got boring quickly, is I felt like I hit that cap of kind of gear and interactivity with things pretty quickly. And by the time I did the quest and I killed the bots and I had seen like the higher level gear, your build variety in that game doesn't go anywhere. It's much more just I don't want to use the word casual, that gets thrown around a lot, but you know what I mean. It's much more a less.
It's
less
definitely
deep
designed to
from
be
a.
more mass market than Marathon.
Agreed, big time.
Yeah, it's the first.
time.
I gave Arc Raiders a 9 out of 10, and I stand by that.
I
think
love
it's
Arc
a
Raiders.
Arc Raiders is
fantastic
great.
extraction shooter. But for me, its success was the exact opposite way in what I think Marathon succeeds at, which is
Yes.
Arc Raiders takes the really sweaty, super unforgiving, brutal experience of Escape from Tarkov, and it turns it into a group hug, which is crazy that you're able to pull that off, and awesome. Marathon takes the extraction shooter as it was originally conceived via Escape from Tarkov, and makes it polished and feel good in a way that Escape from Tarkov is janky. It does feel like the the Apex Legends to the PUBG is kind of the way that I'm thinking about it.
That's actually
right?
a
Like
pretty fair thing. Yeah.
Whereas
Are we throwing in whereases now? Do I have to write some consent resolutions?
yeah. Whereas Arc Raiders is more like the Fortnite, right? Like it takes the idea and makes it very casual and welcoming, like Fortnite. Whereas this Marathon just adds polish to a genre that has kind of been known for being really unpolished and janky. And so I think that they both succeed at transforming the genre in creative and clever ways. Does that mean that the extraction shooter is going to suddenly no longer be a niche? No, it's still a niche. And as we talked about 2 weeks ago, Marathon is a niche within a niche within a niche. It's a
I fear for
PvP
Marathon,
shooter.
but not.
Yeah,
because
I
of
don't
its
know if it's going to be
quality.
successful, but yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah, no, I think that's well said. And they're just very different games. I've had a lot of people reach out to me and be like, "I love Arc Raiders, well, I like Marathon," and I'm like, "I don't know. What type of player are you?" I love them both, but they're very different games.
I will
and
say
But
I did predict that Destiny players would hate Marathon, and it's because the extraction shooter is the
what is that?
anti-Destiny. What's
well,
that?
I mean, I think some of it is that they feel like the resources went from Destiny and it's been allowed to
Oh, that's
languish and have moved
100%
to
my
Marathon.
stepson.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a little bit of bitterness because if you go to the studio, as I have, you see that all of the well-known names and people that I associate with Bungie are working on Marathon, and all the people that I have never met before that seem like maybe they were just recently graduated college are working on Destiny. And I think that's just because Bungie tends to put its heavy hitters on like new IPs or new like undertakings, larger big games. But also just because the people that are good at PvP what are they going to work on in Destiny? I mean, like, really, what are they going to do in Destiny right now? There is no PvP in Destiny. 2 weeks ago, there was a story online about how there were 2 teams playing Trials, and they were locked, Trials of the Nine or Trials of Osiris, and they were locked in a never-ending battle because there were only 2 teams repeatedly getting match made with each other and fighting each other over and over again. So, what is the PvP talent at Bungie going to do on Destiny? The second thing I think is that Marathon structurally, an extraction shooter, is just the anti-Destiny. Destiny is all about hoarding and getting all of your gear and making progress through, loot drops that you're always going forward, never going back. Extraction shooter is not like that. So if you like the collectathon hoarding game of Destiny, you are very unlikely to enjoy the brutal, get ready to lose it all flavor of an extraction shooter like Marathon. So I think it's just the way that the Destiny brain works is very opposite of the extraction shooter. And Bungie knew that, by the way. When I interviewed them, I was like, so you're not trying to sell this to Destiny players, right? And they were like, no.
No, I mean, that's where some of the pushback comes back online, right? Because I say I'm loving Marathon or these various things. And a lot of people come out of the woodwork, and it does seem to be focused primarily on people that love Destiny that feel like it got left in the cold.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we've talked about this. I don't want to hash on it, but to Hoag's earlier sentiment, they're just, again, and I always say anecdotally because it's just everyone lives in their own kind of bubble at some point, nowadays. But I have seen that kind of anti-Marathon vibe from some corners of the social space, and it's just very weird to me. Like, I don't understand, not just Marathon, but any game of like, this game's coming out, we got to find a way to hate it. It's freaking odd, man. Like, it's just odd.
I view it as a good sign for Marathon, ironically enough, because I do think it's strengthening as Marathon's getting more uptake, especially here 10 days on, where you had a lot of the knee-jerk reaction to that thing's going to suck, and the artist issue last year, and Bungie's over the hill, and Destiny was left to die, and all these various things. And as more people are trying it and getting in there and saying, no, this game is actually really good, you don't have to take my word for it, you can buy it yourself, that there is more uptake. Is it going to get ARC creators numbers? I would doubt that it ever hits those numbers because they did a really good job of breaking through to the mass audience. But my hope is that a lot of the negativity, the strength of the negativity right now, is because they can see that it's not this tire fire of a game that's just kicking people off immediately. As long as you can get through that onboarding, which is not great, and accept the hardcore, really out there sci-fi, which is not going to be everybody, it's going to hold on to a core audience. Like, there's no question in my mind that people are going to stick with this thing, and I hope to be playing it for a long time. But I don't know how much it costs to keep up. I don't know how willing Sony is to pay that bill. I don't know how willing Bungie is for its people to be paying that bill. So I can't tell you that it's going to last forever. I can't tell you that it's going to be a winner at the end of the day. I can tell you it's not Concord. I can tell you that it is a really, really good experience. And if you're at all interested in it, you should check it out because it's well worth your time and money.
Yeah, agree with all of it. I agree. I love this game. I don't think I've
honestly
been
I think obviously Hoag is hell of surprising, but Ains, how much you've attached to it is also really surprising.
It surprised me.
You have traditionally been into you're an arena shooter guy, right?
I am.
So getting you into a loot-based extraction shooter always felt to me like it was a little bit of a stretch. Getting Hoag interested felt like it would never happen. So it's so interesting seeing that we're all three really enjoying this game. When I don't know, do you guys assume a lot of the negativity online is people who haven't played it, or do you think there's a lot of people that are playing with it?
100% yes, or have played it for like an hour, and I'm telling you, this game requires more input than that.
The negativity does appear to be coming from people that haven't actually experienced it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Although I do think that there's probably some people that just bounced off of it because of the bad onboarding experience. I think that it is bad at onboarding. Yeah, I think it's one of the main reasons this game's going to have like trouble, just because I know that there are some people who played it and were just like, yeah, not for me, or I don't like extraction shooters, or I don't like looking at moths land on people's faces. You're
going to get used to that.
Yeah, there's like a lot of like reasons to not like this game, but most of it that I've seen is just like, screw this game, I hate it. And it's like, okay, be more specific with your feedback. I would say, tell me why you hate it. I would love to hear that. But yeah, I'm so happy to hear that we're all enjoying this, and I'm very much looking forward to Wednesday. The Hang Boys.
The Hang Boys, yeah.
Yes, no, Ain said he's loving it. I would actually say love too. That's not a word I use very often. I love Marathon, and I agree that the onboarding is pretty close to crap for this game.
Yeah, it's not good.
It certainly doesn't highlight what it does well. And so if you just bounce off it, I get that. I kind of did a little bit of that myself. This was during the server slam. But I will say that there is some secret sauce in there, because what I found was that I kept thinking about it and saying, I got to go find some more of what it's doing. And after you do that once or twice, by then you're just in. Just go straight to the dealer and get your Marathon, because you're going to want some more.
Yeah, and I can't stress enough how well, and the guys I'm playing with who have all played a ton too. My core group is all addicted to this game, mostly. I can't stress enough how well it drip feeds as you're leveling up and leveling up the faction, how well it drip feeds both loot and kind of like progress, because you have foundational character build progress. So like you can do things like upgrade your agility, your defense against things like toxins, your it's almost like
just all
heat sink. Your heat sink is the thing, your vault size, all these things that are like ARPG like almost with when you start adding the implants and the cores and everything else you can do. And it's super, super addictive in that sense. And I did not expect Marathon to hit me, because you guys know I love competitive PvP and I love loot-based games. Diablo, Borderlands, those are my games, right? And this somehow found a way to like mix those two things together into this. I joke in my article of like, it's like a cocktail that I just want to continue getting drunk on.
Yeah.
And I just love it. I did not expect to love it this much. I even played it last year and I liked it, but it didn't grab me like this, and it has a complete hold of me right now. Like the first thing I'm going to do when we get off the show today is go eat, and I'm going to jump on Marathon.
Yeah, no, the secret sauce is there. Like Bungie still has the sauce, and that's as surprising to me as anyone on this. I actually saw a really cool tweet that I agreed with. You were describing the weather changes and some of the threats in the various places and the things that can change on the board, adding to that dynamism. And now the ARPG elements, that this isn't an extraction shooter, which is obviously just hyperbole online, but it's an action role-playing roguelike because of the randomness and the way you're building your character. And it's true. It's true. Yeah. And I'm really interested. There's a couple of things that aren't negatives, but are question marks still for me. And one is what the season transition is actually going to feel like. Because a lot of the things that I really react to are the codex and the priority contracts and things like that. It can't be that we're just going to repeat that every 3 months. So I'm curious as to what that looks like. I'm also a little bit concerned, not overly concerned, that some of the patches we've seen in this first week are very reactionary. Like they are really swinging things to and fro. And I do worry when companies do that much, because they are trying to respond to the user base. And I think that's great, but they're doing it very, very strongly. And I prefer more incremental change.
Please, Bungie, don't tone this game down. I'm begging you, baby.
That is a concern.
Yeah, I saw them make
you.
the AI easier or whatever. I saw something about an update there.
That's in the patch notes. That has not been my experience this weekend. But
good.
It's
good.
It's very minor. It's very.
I'm glad to hear that. They also changed the noise, and I've seen people on the subreddit saying they don't like the changes to sound.
No, the noise is an issue.
No, the noise so they basically made it so you could hear further away, but you could hear too far away. So it was like basically like the competitive. They are this week.
They've promised to tune it back. Yes.
This week. Yeah. And this week they're also greatly expanding the stack size of things in the vault, which is going to be
I saw that. Oh my God. That's such a good 15 heals on one stack.
Huge. Oh, dude. It's like it's not even like going from like I told my friends, not even from like 3 to 5, right? It's like 10x.
Yeah, didn't they change the bullets from 80 to 800 or something?
800, yeah, exactly.
So the stacks in your inventory are still going to be like 60 or 80 or whatever, right? But then when you go to your vault, the stacks are larger. Okay, that's how it should be, 100%. So yeah, that's awesome. I'm really so like just so you guys know, like I have not played this game for a week. I played it like the first day that it came out, and then I had to pivot to Crimson Desert. But I am spending my entire time reviewing Crimson Desert, like staying up on news and wanting to play Marathon. So like, I'm so excited to finish up Crimson Desert and get back to this game. I
I'm
have
excited to jump in
massive
with you,
FOMO
honestly.
seeing Hogue play more marathon than me. It's giving me
I'm
so
still lower
much
level than
FOMO.
you.
I know you are lower level, but I'm still watching you play it, and I'm just like, dude, Hogue has literally played more marathon than me since launch, and that's a travesty. That should never be true.
By the way, Bo Mangini on Hogue side of the house, we were going back and forth in chat around the mentality of gear fear that I mentioned, and getting over that. And I likened it to what I recommend when people try to get into Souls game for the first time. I'm like, you know how modern games, you don't really die a lot. You're going to die in Souls games, and I promise you it's okay. Expect to die. Don't worry about dying. Get used to dying. It's part of the learning process of overcoming the game like it used to be decades ago.
Yeah, it's
Very
designed
similar.
around that.
It's designed around it. This game is designed around losing. In fact, losing your stuff after a run, and it's okay. I promise you, you're going to get plenty more.
It really
They said
is.
on the server slam, they released statistics of the server slam. People only exfil or extract successfully 42% of the time.
42
So,
would be light years ahead. I think I'm currently tracking at 5.
But I mean, that's the
5%.
point, right? Like, if you take the entire community, 6 out of 10 times, you're going to die and not exfil. It's okay. It's part of the game. Think of it like a multiplayer match, right? Like, you're
Think
going to
of it like
lose.
a roguelike.
Or roguelike, same thing,
Yeah.
right? Like, all of these are good references. Just, it's okay. I promise. Just let the stuff go. You'll get that gun again, probably the next match or the 2 matches later.
It really is okay. Although I will say, I lost. People are going to laugh at me because it was just a blue, but I lost a blue gun that was really working for me, and it made me super sad. And
Can
it
I
made
ask
it
what the
worse
gun
because I
was?
actually.
Was it a
yes,
Burt?
It
Burt
was.
submachine gun?
It
I know
was.
it.
How did you know that?
I know a thing or two about marathon. It's no big deal. Whatever.
Because it's aim and point, aim and click.
It's a very good submachine gun that I think is slightly overtuned in the game. So,
and I really liked the so like when you get a higher rarity gun, it comes with the mods, I guess you would call them.
Did you know you can also make a gun's rarity go up by giving it better mods?
So guys,
crazy.
All the guns are white. There's no rarity in guns. The rarity is determined by the mods you put on it. Yes.
So that's interesting because like aren't there prestige guns that have like special effects though that do things that the normal
it's
guns
because
don't?
of the mods.
What the dude, this game's crazy. This game's crazy. I want to play it so
let me
bad.
tell you, I could talk about this game for hours. There's a purple mod I have in my inventory and I haven't used it. I just talked about gear fear. I'm afraid of losing it, so I'm a hypocrite. But it is just a mod on one of the mods on the guns you can put on. And what it does is when you affect someone with an EMP grenade, which are very powerful in the game, by the way. So you throw an EMP at an enemy, you hurt them, and then you shoot them, you steal health and shields from them. And I'm like, high-level players, like, that's one small example of the type of mods that are in this game. High-level players, like, the builds they can make are ridiculous. There's one for the Destroyer that's a prestige core that when you pull out your shield and people shoot it, you steal the shields back. And it's just like those types of things, the combinations you're going to see for the high-level players once they get deeper into this game, it's going to be nuts, man. Like, it's so much fun. Yeah, it's awesome.
I need to get my invisibility backpack back.
Right? Like you take these things out, and it's funny. My daughter sits with me while I play these things. And I'm not very good, like I said, and it's always we have to remind ourselves. I try to say, okay, we're bringing real stuff this time. Don't be a crazy person, because you get used to bringing the kits, or at least I do, because they're infinite free kits that just let you run with crap out there, and it's just you have a different mentality when you're just running out with crap.
And by the way, let's comment on the 3-shot burst rifle is the BR-33, the volley rifle, best gun in the game.
It feels so good.
And the little handgun, it's the CE.
So good.
It's like
it's the CE pistol
and the
sniper's the long shot.
Yeah.
Bungie knows.
All the snipers in this game feel unbelievable. And the shotguns, dude. The
that's what I mean. It just feels sublime. It really is. Like, I'm so happy. I did not expect to love this game this much. Resident Evil was already an amazing game. I loved it. Gave it a 9. It's going to be in my top games of the year for sure. Marathon right now is probably my top game of the year, and we've obviously got many more amazing games to release this year. It's just great start.
Also, shout out to Dan Olson in the comments. close
Where's
personal
Dan
friend of
at?
mine who hopped on for the first time and is commenting. That's very cool.
Oh, cool.
Hi,
What's up,
Dan.
Dan?
What's up, dude?
Welcome.
How you doing, buddy?
All right. That's we talked quite a bit about Marathon, boys. I appreciate it though. So if you have any questions, hit us with a chat, hit us with a comment. Believe me, I can answer questions about this game, but we've got a couple super chats to get to in relation to this. Let's hit them.
Siddharth Shishkilker 888992
Siddharth.
200 rupees and writes, how do you approach the extraction aspect of this game? I'm enjoying it, but I've almost started playing it like an arena shooter where I just completely ignore the loot and run free kits. That's certainly one strategy.
Yeah, I think we almost kind of covered this. This came in obviously several minutes ago or a little bit ago, so we've kind of covered this already. So first, shout out to Siddharth. Hope you're doing well, my friend.
Yeah.
I will say this: what I've done, what I have found is a good approach, especially early on before you have all the free stuff I mentioned that you unlock and a vault full of stuff. Is you run a free kit. To your point, you play no holds barred because you have nothing to lose, right? And then you're going to have a run where you find cores and implants and a couple guns and everything, and you're going to build a loadout. And then I just keep running with that loadout and making it better and better until I die. And then I go back to a free kit and repeat that process.
It sounds so much like chip stack at the table. in
Pretty
Vegas
much.
somewhere.
But it's nice because you just let go of that fear. It's like, if I lose this, I just found it. I've got a free kit, as many as I want waiting for me. I'll come right back in. I'll play with a free kit. I'll find some stuff, and it's just fun. And while you're doing that, you're unlocking codexes, factions. You're learning more about the maps. You know what I mean? You're doing other things while you're doing that with your guns.
You are learning the maps is the key to me.
It's a big one.
That's what I've really enjoyed doing, is going and memorizing the maps. I will say
and
this:
the spawn points for the maps, so you know where all the players start off.
Again,
I haven't gotten that memorized yet, but
yeah,
I have fallen in love with triage as my shell, and
Nice.
I really wanted
yeah.
a certain number of the colors. And what you have to do to get the colors of the skins of these guys, if you're not paying cash money, is you have to use a specific sponsored kit and extract with it, which is really hard to do if you're trying to do anything massive in the map. So one of the things that I do to get those skins that I've enjoyed is I take triage out. I figure out who needs to sponsor me. I enter into a solo queue, and I do a really light kind of loot run. I combine it with, I need biomass, and I kind of know where that is now. And I try to go get that, and I wait till the 20-minute mark when the extractions open up. I see what I'm close to, and ideally, I sneak out without anybody being the wiser. Not always work out that way. It doesn't, but it's a fun little run.
Dude, Hoag's a rat.
It's terrifying. You're afraid of every bit of movement everywhere.
He's a rat, dude. Do you guys know the term rat in extraction shooters?
No.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I do. Only from Michael, actually.
This is an archetype of extraction shooter player, which is defined as somebody who basically stays in the shadows and like never gets noticed in the match. Like their goal is to just like be completely like, they'll never engage in outright PvP. They're always like hanging out and trying to just like salvage loot that's like left over. So they'll see somebody else get into a fight, kill a team, take the best loot, and then whatever's left, like they'll kind of creep in and grab like whatever was left behind. It's called a rat. It comes all the way from Tarkov. And Hoag.
Well, I will say it's not.
I think you're a rat, dude. I think you're a rat.
I might have some rat runs, but that's one of the ways I play to get primarily skins that I really like, and some of them are awesome. Like I love Traxxas skins. They're always like dark and red, which is a super weird look for the triage. But I love triage. I'm bad with recon. Vandal is way too like I can't figure out how to use Vandal. Destroyer is, as best I can tell, Titan. I've never been an assassin, so if one of you is a good assassin runner, we can trot that out on Wednesday.
I love the assassins so much.
That's my main class.
I never play them because there's always somebody on my team who's playing assassin, and I don't.
It is the most played class, which is annoying because it is my main.
Sweat Lord. For whatever reason, I've ended up using recon just because recon's always useful and nobody wants to play recon, so I've just been playing her. Yeah.
Well, that's the way I get my most extractions. I said I'm 5%. Probably 4% is just my little sneaky. I need to get a skin run.
I love when you find a rat too, because to Travis's point, like there's times where I'm like running around, even solo, right? And I'll be like, I'll jump up on a wall or something. I've had moments where like I just turn it around. I think I'm all alone. I look and there's just a dude like crouched in a corner, trying not to be seen. It's like, what are you doing down there? Quick kill.
You don't turn on proximity chat and ask the question. You just shoot him in the head.
No, I don't, because I'm usually in a Discord or something with other buddies. But I have had people talk to us of like, no, leave me. Me and another guy downed each other yesterday, so we're both crawling. And he's like, no, come hold me. We're both hurt. And he's like crawling right next to me. Had some funny moments.
I extracted with another player that we downed each other. We were the last people on our respective teams, and we were near the extraction point, and so we just crawled over to it together, and we were like, "You're my brother," and then we got the world.
Travis,
really
can I ask a game design question about this genre? Because there's one thing I don't understand. Why is there a difference between downed and dead when you can revive from either state?
It's because when you're downed, you can still do stuff. Usually, in extraction shooter,
you can self-revive too.
You can also self-res. Exactly. You can use some items when you're in the down state. You can also move when you're in the down state, which is hugely powerful because you can, peek around a corner and then get a res from safety. Versus if you're straight up dead and you what do we call it? Turned into backpack, tibbed.
Turned into backpack. Yeah.
If you get tibbed, then you're stuck, completely static, and also you're lootable, which you're not lootable in the down state. So
that is where I lost my blue gun I was telling you about.
Yeah.
Hope's holding on to this blue gun.
Dude, that Burt. I mean, dude, the first time you get a Burt, you're like, oh, guns can be good. Like guns can be really good.
That's how Travis thinks about it. I immediately go, oh, I'm better at this game than I thought.
Well, and there's most of the guns. So most people don't know there's 28 guns at launch in this game. Most people use about 10 to 12. There's many more guns that are higher level you don't even see until later. There's other SMG, there's another sniper, there's another shotgun.
It's also
that I promise you haven't even seen yet.
The Volt weapons, which is stupid because
the Volts are so good.
They're good. Yeah, people refuse to use them because they don't make the noises that they want.
Well, and remember, it's old school Halo. You break the shield with the Volt and switch to the precision. Come on, people. Learn what you're doing.
Gets that
combo.
Breaking the shield with it.
But to your point about down but not out too, like another thing the assassin cores have is you can have it where you go down but not out, and you turn invisible. So you can start like scootering away, even though your blood trail sometimes.
I was gonna say you got that blue blood, right?
Yeah. Siddharth, good to see you. Hope you answered your question. Thank you as always, my friend. Don Lionheart's in the house as well. I'm sure it's going to be right about our topic. Don
Lionheart, $5 super chat. Hi all, playing Ragnarok for the first time.
Sorry.
Atreus plays better than Kratos. Combat is meh at best, often bad. Bosses. Freya equals best character.
Freya's awesome.
Freya is the best character. Hogue and I both said sorry when you said you're playing Ragnarok.
How on topic? Yep. How?
Hey, I appreciate that Don's playing video games out there, man. You never know.
He plays a lot of games. He does. I'll give him that. Yeah. Don, thank you, my friend. We were talking about Ragnarok in our Discord the other day because he said he was playing. And yeah, I think a lot of I'm surprised, honestly, at how much consensus now versus when it released. If you remember,
ain't that the way, though?
How much crap we got for talking bad about Ragnarok. How much now so many people say 2018 is better, which it is.
No, you just want to be like, just reflect on it a little bit more, will you? And it just takes a lot of people 6 months.
All right. We have been talking about Marathon a lot. So I wanted to touch on GDC. Travis, I don't know if there's any overall or anything else you want to talk about GDC, but I figure we'll talk about Project Helix as well.
Yeah. So we can talk about next gen consoles. I don't have a ton to add from, as you guys know, I spend most of my GDC. I don't even really go to the show floor anymore. I just go into hotel rooms and play demos with different developers that have set that up.
I'm glad you added play demos.
Yeah. Well, as you know, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, right? But yeah, I think the Helix announcement was one of the bigger ones because we started talking about what the next gen looks like and a ETA on when developers are going to start getting their kind of their developer kits.
Yeah, kits in 27 is like that changes the whole timeline understanding.
Yeah, which I think makes sense. I mean, Hogue, you've been somebody who's complained about this generation not really ever getting to come into its own.
Yeah.
And then I think with the silicone shortage, it kind of makes sense that the stuff is increasingly hard to get a hold of, especially the higher end stuff. People are speculating that this new console is going to cost $1,000, which I personally have my doubts about. But yeah, I can obviously talk a little bit about what we were shown, but I'm not sure if it's all public. You guys know everything.
Yeah. So we'll touch on it. So, Project Helix is the code name for Xbox Next Gen. Jason Ronald, who's their kind of head of hardware at Xbox, now reports to Asha, I think. Jason can correct me if I'm wrong there. But essentially, it's what we've talked about quite a bit early on here, because, we're kind of privy to some of this stuff. But it is going to be a kind of hybrid console as expected, right? It's a custom solution with AMD. No surprise there. They have a long multi-year contract with them to unlock the next generation of DirectX and FSR with AMD. Most importantly, which again, we kind of covered this when you talked about the Rogue Ally, Travis, is that was their almost testing platform. I don't want to frame it that way, but for this Xbox mode UI, right? Which is kind of like their modern Steam big picture mode, right? Where you're going to play on a Windows device, but it's going to have this kind of separate slice of console kind of user interface, which is simplified from a gaming perspective. And then really, as we've kind of already talked about, this console is going to be this PC console hybrid. It's going to be more high end, so you can expect it to cost more. It's going to cost more anyway, just given the market conditions. And they want to basically allow players to play across all these devices, as we've known for a while with Xbox. So you play your Xbox games, you have Game Pass if you have it, you have Xbox Play Anywhere, and you're able to access your Steam and Epic and other PC launcher libraries. I think one of the things that went, I think, underreported, which I think is important to note, is they are combining the Xbox SDK, the software development kit, into singular. So when you develop for Xbox in the future, it will be a single developer kit for all devices. So your PC, your console, which makes sense. I mean, it seems kind of obvious when you say it out loud, but I think that they're obviously working to make it easier to develop on Xbox globally for developers.
I think they're trying to get over the main issue they've had this generation, which is people simply do not put their games on Xbox because this is, people have given this quote many times, that it just wasn't worth the time investment to get it on that platform versus the number of copies they expected to sell. So hopefully this makes it a no-brainer to just put your game on Xbox as well, because they need it, man. Like, I see games and I'm like, oh, I'm going to go play it. And then I look on Xbox as the console I buy most of my games on. And I go and I'm like, oh, it's not Xbox. Guess I'll get it on PlayStation or PC. Like Dispatch was one of those. Like, a lot of these games are like that.
Yeah. So what I'm most curious about, and I think obviously we'll learn more in June, I suspect anyway, at Summer Game Fest with Xbox's typical kind of conference, is we'll learn a little more about this, hopefully. I'm curious, one, of like, obviously everyone wants to know specs and everything else, but I'm really curious to see how they balance this. So you say it's a hybrid PC. Is it still going to be locked hardware like a traditional console, right? Where you're not able to customize any of it? Or if it's actually a PC with just this kind of hybrid OS, or this Xbox mode from an OS perspective, can you modify it? And are they going to allow people to modify it? I think that starts to kind of enter the equation. And at that point, you kind of have to walk this fine line of plug and play capability for the people who don't want to mess around with their hardware and want a console experience, versus people who are willing to go in there and fine tune some things if they want to. And I'm going to be curious to see how that shakes out.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
It's a tough line to walk, because I don't want to mess too much on the console side. But if you're going to sell proprietary branded 32X kind of things that you plug in and you're stronger now, you got to make
32X.
Yes. Isn't that what the Genesis had?
Oh, no. Yeah. It's just that I didn't expect that deep cut in this conversation, Hogue. I appreciate you, though.
But like, if you're going to do that, then you have to make sure that the games can support it, which maybe happens automatically because you're doing different specs when you're checking a box for Xbox
on a
versus PC anyway.
Yeah.
But it's going to be tricky, because I definitely do not want, the reason I like consoles as much as I do is I do not want to get too deep in the weeds on, oh, do you have this chipset and do you have this audio capability?
I'm the same way.
Whatever else.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And I think, The way I'm thinking of it is they're probably thinking like when you buy a pre-built PC, like the software set up, the hardware selected for you, they know the configuration works, and then you can still modify your pre-built PC, but you're getting a lot of the like difficulty of getting up and running done for you. I think that's how they're thinking of it. But it is going to make like the SKUs and the it's just going to make the landscape a lot more complicated, especially for console gamers who typically don't. They're very bare minimum. Oh, there's the new Xbox. I'll buy it. Like, I don't care what it's called. I'll get the PS6 because it's got a 6 on it, and I assume that's bigger than 5. Like, that's about as far as some of these buyers go.
Is better than 5.
Yeah, that's about as far as a lot of these buyers go. So, I think there is some challenge in that, but I also think there's this interesting thing happening where you see the old schools of thought, and those are working. Nintendo and Sony basically have the same strategy, which is we're going to continue to do our walled garden, and we're going to succeed by having a unique product and sets of products that can't be recreated on other platforms. And then you have Steam and Xbox basically converging into the same type of company where they're both like, we're going to create machines where you can play as many of the games as possible, be it portable, be it the Steam machine console that they're making, PC, all that stuff. And Xbox is basically going that same direction. And so I think both of these models can be successful, but it is interesting to kind of see that divergence where Xbox and Steam are kind of doing the same thing, and Nintendo and Sony are doing the same thing.
I agree. And we didn't talk because it was 2 weeks ago, I don't think, remind me, about the report from Schreier and everything that PlayStation is going to pull back their single player releases or core releases from PC, which just furthers to your point, Travis, around maybe leaning into what they think they do well, or they weren't seeing the return they expected on certain releases. I don't really know, but it definitely is. We say this all the time.
I think it has more to do with them like holding ground on exclusivity because the Xbox is going to play Steam games apparently, and I think they just don't want an Xbox console to play PlayStation games. That's
I have to imagine that was a factor, right? And we talked about this last year when these rumors first started circling. But I think that it is interesting. I mean, the industry is always interesting to watch unfold. That's what we talk about here. But I think these dynamics that we're seeing with all these factors, especially once you throw in the global issues with shortages on RAM and solid state drives right now, is just crazy. It's going to be a crazy few years, I think.
That is the craziness, is that access to resources. It's one of the reasons I'm thinking about getting a second Switch too, because I just believe in my gut that price is going up soon.
Yeah, that's fair. But anyway, we'll hopefully learn more in June. I am confirmed again. I'll be out there for Summer Game Fest and be covering. I didn't even do this on purpose, but wearing the SGF shirt from last year. So me, Alex, I believe Ray, the same crew at SG will be out there. So it'll be a good time. We may have Don. Don may actually join us this year as well. So, but yeah, guys, been a great conversation today. Chat, you've been awesome. Hope that you enjoyed the conversation on a bunch of different games today. But yeah, if you're one of those people, I'll close on this just because I know we talked a lot about it. But if you're one of those people on Marathon who is like, this game doesn't look like my thing, I don't like extraction shooters because I don't like the idea of losing my loot. I heard this game is bad, whatever it may be. Give it a shot. It's very, very, very good, and I cannot recommend it enough, with the obvious caveats that we talked about earlier. If you like those types of games,
yes, maybe you hate first-person shooters. This is not going to change.
Yeah, if you hate, exactly right. Yeah. But anyway, we'll go ahead and start closing out here. So a couple things on the SG side of the house this week. So I already mentioned the Marathon opinion and our review in progress. You can check those out. There's a new Starship Troopers, believe it or not, boomer shooter that's coming out this week as well. So first person shooter, what's his name from Starship Troopers 1? DM, what's the main actor's name? I'm blanking on it.
What, Rico?
Casper? Is it Casper?
Oh, Casper Van Dien? Is he Rico?
He comes back. He reprises his role and does some live FMV footage for the game. But we'll have a review on that tomorrow as well. You can check out. We got Monster Hunter Stories 3. Don's also reviewing Greedfall 2 for us, which kind of went by the wayside because
which doesn't go by Greedfall 2 anymore, which I noted. I was actually going to ask Travis about that. It's Greedfall, what, like the Lost Continent or something?
Dying Land or something?
The Dying Land.
Dying Land. I think it had a I remember it having a subtitle earlier, like it might have been called Greedfall 2, the Dying Land or Dying World or whatever. Yeah, that one's an interesting. I have thoughts on that one, but we'll stay later. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk about that more next week. Nacon obviously had this weird thing this past week as well, where they delayed their showcase and other.
They're going
things
a little
happening,
bankrupt.
so.
It's okay. It happens.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next week too, and a couple other things on the site this week. Travis, I'll pass to you first. Coming off of GDC, obviously we talked about Crimson Desert this week. What else is happening, my friend?
Crimson Desert this week. Presumably we'll be getting back into Marathon and no lifing it this week. I'm gonna catch up with Ains. Believe it, dude.
I'm gonna watch.
I've got way more free
fly
time
to
than
the
him.
ceiling.
He does have more. Yeah,
I've got way more free time than either of these freaking casuals with families and lives. So I'm gonna be doing that. I did. I'm gonna have a preview up at some point for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles thing, and then in April I am doing. I'm gonna be the editorial lead for April's IGN First cover story at IGN.
You want to break it now?
I cannot break it now, but I believe I believe we'll be announcing the game on April 2nd because you can't announce anything on April 1st. And then I'll have a month-long coverage of a pretty exciting video game. I can't announce exclusively to Season Gaming that it is a video game.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. It's a video game, not a board game, not a card game, a video game. Okay. I've been very busy with that. This by the way was all the stuff I was busy with in January. Remember I was busy in January and couldn't talk about any of it. So I'm on a 3-month lag here, but I'm very excited to talk about some of that stuff. You can check out my preview of Big Walk right now, which I forgot went live. I think I have another preview that's going live that I lit a couple weeks ago that just hasn't hit embargo yet, but I do not remember what it is. I'm gonna have a lot of content. Soon.
Visit IGN to get Travis's 10 for Crimson Desert on Wednesday.
Obviously. Oh, you know what it was? It was the Diablo 4 Warlock preview that I accidentally published early. That went live. That went live recently, so it is officially out there and never went live before the embargo. So
yeah. Also, we didn't mention it, and obviously it's not time yet, but we got the trailer for the first major Borderlands 4 expansion with Cash, the new class, which looks really good too. I'm excited about that. So,
Borderlands 4,
Hoke, what you got, my friend?
That's me. I have no content for the internet at large. If
you have a marathon stream coming,
true,
I do. That's true.
Streamer. Get in it, gamer. You
saw me at all in the last 2 weeks that it was probably on a Zoom call where we were discussing deal terms. And it's very nice to see you on my stream talking about video games. Yeah, but otherwise, I have no content.
Fair enough. Just a reminder, like we said, marathon stream Wednesday. We get a midweek Bitcast Hang Boys stream this week.
That's going to be the brand name for our streams in the future.
That's it. It's going to be on there. I promise you.
No longer Bitcast. We're the Hang Boys.
It's the Bitcast Hang Boys. You got to keep both brands.
That's right.
Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern on Porsche Power My Tag Twitch. Check that out. And like we said, any bits, subs, whatever you want to throw at there will go to Extra Life. So we'd appreciate you swinging by and having some laughs with us, which I'm sure we will. By the way, Hogue, I noticed when you responded to someone just now about Final Girl. You came out as me on Twitch, on my Twitch, which is brilliant. So it shows me having typed Final Girl is one of my favorite board games ever made. I've never played it. Don't worry, everybody sucks at it. I'm sure I do because I've never played it.
Yes, I was responding to another person's commentary on Final Girl in my background. I adore Final Girl. I've said that in other places. I will try to put a -R or something at the end of those. I did not mean to suggest.
No one's looking at that anyway. It doesn't matter. So
Haynes,
anyway,
I just noticed that we're twins today. Look at this.
Boop, boop. Oh yeah, I know. She's hanging out right there. The thief. By the way, watching Shroud play as thief with the damn grappling hook yesterday was a revelation. I may start using her a little bit more. I don't have his skill. But you know,
I also love the drone stealing people's loot off of them from the drone is so funny. It's such a funny ability.
When I hear a clink and I see one of my things go falling on the ground, I'm like, you mother. I get so bad. Stop stealing my stuff. So it's good stuff.
Such a good ability.
Chat, you've been great. Thank you very much. Appreciate everyone. We will see you hopefully Wednesday. If not, we will see you next week. Enjoy all the awesome games out there, and we'll talk to you then. Peace.